What's up, guys? Welcome to your 45th Java tutorial where we're going to talk about polymorphism for a little bit. I think we covered it a little bit in a previous video, but I didn't really explain what it was or how we can utilize it. So I'm just going to break it down a little bit more in depth in this tutorial. So if you guys haven't followed this series and you're just watching this video, make sure you check out the very last video because that's the setup that we have here on the screen right now. Just watch that last one, you'll be caught up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a new car that's going to be a Ford. So we're just going to right click, again go to new class, and we're going to call this one a Ford. And what we're going to do with the Ford class, we're going to let our Ford class extend our car class, which again is our abstract class. And then again we have to add the methods from the abstract class, such as setup and all that stuff. Let's set up one more car. Just for good measure, we'll say this one is a Honda, and then we're going to allow the Honda extend the car class, and then again add our unimplemented methods, and there we go. We're good to start with polymorphism and how we can use it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to jump into our car class. We're just going to create a quick method called speak. So we're going to have public void speak with no parameters. And what we're going to do is a system.out.print, and what we're going to say is I am a car, referring to the car class. So there we go. Now when we go back to our starting point class, wherever that is, we can just say Toyota the Toyota that we set up again in the previous tutorial now has the speak method, and that'll just print out I'm a car. But you know, that's kind of bland, that's kind of boring. And we're actually going to delete the tire size for that last one. So when we hop back to our car class, we can actually define what the speak method is, again because it's not an abstract like we were talking about in the previous tutorial. It's just a void, it's not returning anything, it's just going to system print out I'm a car. And also within the car class I'm going to comment out this line within the constructor that just says print, because it's just going to be a waste of our time. And so now that we have this speak method for our car class, again all of our other car classes such as Toyota, Honda, Ford, they can all use this speak method, but they're all going to print out I'm a car. So what we're going to do is we're going to override this speak class for each individual car and have it say I'm a Toyota, or I'm a Honda, or I'm a Ford, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to go to source and then override implement methods. And as you can see, under our car class we have again the speak method and the miles per gallon method that we set up in the previous tutorial. We're just going to check this speak method, hit OK, and as you can see we get this override method, which is saying, hey, we know that the car class, or the class that we're extending, has a method called speak, but we're going to override it and tell the computer what we want to happen. For Toyotas, not just cars in general. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to delete this line of code here. Again, super is referring to the class that we're extending, or our super class, which is car, and then the speak method within the car, so it's just going to print out I am a car if we leave it in. But what we want to do is we want to override it and change it to a system.out.print I am a Toyota. So there we go. Now when we save this and go back to our starting point class, and now when we use this t.speak, again t is our Toyota object that we created, it's going to print out I am a Toyota. But let me show you the interesting thing here as we get into the Honda and the Ford class. So first we're going to go to our Toyota class, and I'm just going to copy this override speak method and paste it in to the Honda class. So we paste it in there, and we're just going to change the text to I am a Honda. And for a Ford class, we aren't going to override our speak method, and I'll show you why in a second. But now we're going to go back to our starting point class, and as you can see we defined a Toyota here just to create a new Toyota object. But let's say, for example, we just want to set up 3 different cars. We don't know what brands they are yet or anything like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a car, and we're going to call this car C1, C2, and C3. And again, we're relating to the car class, not our subclass or our Toyota like we did here, or Honda or Ford. We're actually relating to the car class. And again, I showed you guys when we worked with abstract classes, we can't say a new car object because again, car class is an abstract class. But what we can do is we can just say car1 is equal to Toyota. new Toyota. And this concept's called polymorphism because even though it's a car object, since our Toyota class extends the car object, we can just say, hey, we just want to create a new Toyota because we know it has a car-like thing to it, and we're just going to create a new Toyota even though our object is a car. And so we're going to do that for each of our cars. So we're going to say car2 is equal to a new Honda, and also car3 is equal to a new, what was it, Ford? I think, yeah. So now we have three different variables. They're all car type variables, as you can see here, but they're actually set up to what they're supposed to be, such as a Toyota, a Honda, or a Ford. And the interesting thing is we can do some system printouts. So we're going to say C1 referring to our Toyota car, which is again a car object, but we can just say C1.speak, and you're probably like, okay, I don't know what this is going to print out because I know it's a car object, so it might print out I'm a car, but since we set it equal to be a Toyota object, like I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to say I'm a Toyota or I'm a car? And that's what we're going to get to at the end of the tutorial. So we're just going to say C2.speak, and again that's referring to the Honda, and C3.speak as well, and that's referring to the Ford. Which again, the Ford class didn't have the speak method that we overrided. So let's run this and see what happens. We have four statements. This one's referring to the first T, the T speak, the Toyota that we set up. But then the next one's referring to the car class, or the car object C1, which is equal to a new Toyota, and then C2, which is equal to a new Honda, even though it's a car object. And then finally our Ford object that didn't have a speak method. So what polymorphism is allowing us to basically say one object is equal to a different form of that object. Essentially, like you can, I mean, it has multiple forms, I think is the actual definition in Greek or something. I don't know, but that's what I'm going to roll with. So even though we have a car object, and since Toyota is somewhat of a car, it's kind of, in the form of a car, but has a little bit different specifications, we can say that we want our C1 or car C1 equal to a Toyota because it kind of has that same mold, or it kind of follows the same characteristics. And we can do that for each one of these because all of these classes extend the car class. So we can actually, when we're setting up a car object, we can also refer to, the subclass, which is Toyota, Honda, or Ford, and this will work out fine. And then when we call our speak methods, it's going to know, polymorphism is going to allow this object, even though it's a car object, to know that it's referring to the Toyota's speak method, or this one referring to the Honda's speak method, or this one referring to the Ford speak method. But since the Ford speak method doesn't exist, it just referred to the car speak method. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. I know polymorphism is just a big word and it seems like it should be complicated, but really it's not. It's just allowing us to set up an object to be a different object of the same kind of mold, and also to override those methods, and we can use the method that we want to occur, essentially. So I know it's kind of a long tutorial and you guys are still probably pretty confused, but don't worry about it too much. The more you need it, the more you'll kind of understand what polymorphism is. Even a lot of kids that get out of college, out of a Java class, they'll be like, or a whole course, they'll still be like, I don't know exactly what polymorphism is. I don't get why we use it or anything, but that's my best explanation of it for right now. And again, thanks guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing, giving thumbs up, comments, sharing this with your peeps, if you know what I mean. And thanks again, guys. I definitely appreciate it. Have a great rest of your evening.